Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I made I Hope That You're Right. So this continuous strumming that you hear throughout the entire song, there was originally more to this guitar part. I kind of felt too lazy to retrack it, so what I did was I took the chunk that was good, messed around with the gain, made it feel more natural, and then just looped it throughout the entire track. But it wasn't quite fat enough, so I added a fifth below it. This is what we got. This chunk. And you hear that going throughout the entire song. All I did was just swell that in, start off the song, and then it goes. So this bass down here, it originally sounded like this. So just real dry, not quite the way I wanted it. So added some compression, some harsh EQs, distorted it, extra verb, and high cut it a little bit. Just because in that way, when the sub bass actually comes in, that's the part you feel, that's the part that hits.
I think it's about time to give up on my dreams.
And you hear some weird noises going on in the background here. That's this guitar part that I played, didn't like, came back to, ended up reversing it, and then we got this. Actually had a really good rhythm to it, so I thought I'd throw it in there, keep it in there. And this pre-chorus, add the vocoder. Sounds pretty lame by itself, but then once you add in these vocals, both octaves.
You think I'm a good guy, and that's fine. I'll never be happy, but you think I might.
Just something to really spice it up, you know. And then this part right here was originally a trumpet sound, but it's way up there in the sampler, so it doesn't sound like a trumpet. Pretty lame, right? So I added like some guitar pedal board effects to it, you know, just weird stuff, and this is what it came out as. Then we go into the hook. Some gang vocals. We got this bass part from my boy Garrett Waite. Great guitar player, great bass player. So the part he originally sent me, he's crazy talented. I had to chop it up a little bit because it was too crazy, it was too intense. So I chopped that up, and this is what we got. You know, just a little bit more pop, still funky like he gave me, but just a little bit more pop. So props to him for that. And I had a tough time making this hook move the way I wanted it to, so what I eventually ended up doing was adding just some texturized beatboxing. Adding harsh noise gates on there, big crushers, just to kind of help it cut through. It's actually buried pretty far back in the final mix, but it's something that's more felt than heard, if you know what I mean. And we have this arpeggiation. It's kind of buried in that final mix too. A little weird, right? Kind of like a video game. Comes out in the end. And then we have harmonies that come in the first verse and the second verse. They're a little tweaked out, they're a little weird. So what I did was I tracked. So I tracked the harmony itself, but then I wanted a second one. What I did was I pitched that up and messed around with that. It's there and it has that layer, but it's not quite natural, and I like that. So I roll with that. Back into the pre, added some piano in there to help differ it up. Duplicate the melody there. I always like sections that come around the next time in a song to be just slightly different, so this time I added this subtle crash in there just to help it enter in a new way. We come into this bridge.
I tell you openly, my life's a funny thing, and most of it's unclear.
So that bass that we talked about earlier, right?
I tell you good guy, my life's
sub so that it's felt. And that goes on throughout the verses as well. But I wanted to bring it back in the bridge too, just to build up that momentum. I decided to layer the pre-hook vocals with the bridge vocals, and this is what we got.
I tell you good guy, my life's a funny thing. I'll never be happy, but you think I might.
I thought they coupled together really well, so kept that in there. And And again, we want to differ up this last hook just a little bit more. So I threw in these fills just to kind of fill up that extra space. You know, just like that. And we lead into this outro. And this is where we let the beatbox, the arpeggiation, the bass, really all just breathe right here. Just kind of letting all those elements that people might have missed subtly have their own spot at the end. And yeah, that's basically how I made I Hope That You're Right.